Good day to our dear viewers and fellow researchers. I am Joharah M. Marandacan and I will be presenting the study entitled Test Banks in Accounting Education, Their Role in Shaping Academic Outcomes at Mindanao State University, Marawi. Accounting is highly regarded as one of the most challenging subjects in business programs, and this is usually associated with low passing rates and high failure rates. Accountancy students often face rigorous academic demands, including the need to perform well on various assessments such as quizzes and exams. Also, these struggles include everything from mastering complex concepts to navigating complex regulations and standards. The prevalence of test banks, which are collection of questions and answers related to course subject, as an invaluable tool for exam preparation and self-evaluation, has grown significantly. Test banks engage students actively in learning, reinforcing their understanding of key concepts. Incorporating test banks into the study routine of students can significantly enhance their academic performance, and they not only deepen their understanding of the course material, but also make studying more efficient and boost their confidence. This study aimed to understand the role of test banks in shaping students' academic outcomes in the realm of accountancy education by investigating their usage patterns, perceived benefits, and potential drawbacks. This study is grounded in two key theories: cognitive load theory and self-determination theory. The cognitive load theory, introduced by John Sweller in 1988, emphasizes the limited capacity of the working memory and the need to manage cognitive load for effective learning. In the context of accountancy education, this theory highlights how test banks influence academic outcomes. The self-determination theory, developed by Edward Deci and Richard Ryan in 1985, focused on how test banks can support motivation by addressing psychological needs for competence, connection, and autonomy, with individuals more likely to be motivated when they see a link between their actions and meaningful outcomes. This study aimed to determine the role of test banks in shaping the academic outcomes of BS accountancy students at Mindanao State University, Marawi. Specifically, this study will aim to answer the following questions. What is the method of test bank usage of the students in terms of self-assessment and memorizing sources? What is the level of usage of test banks of accountancy students in terms of frequency, duration, and access methods? What is the perception of accountancy students based on the reliability of test banks in terms of completeness, accuracy, and relevance? What is the academic performance of the students in terms of their cumulative grade point average? Is there a significant relationship between the level of usage of test bank and the academic performance of the accountancy students? How does the number of test bank acquired by the students affect their academic performance? And is there a significant relationship between the perception of accountancy students on the reliability of test banks and the academic performance? The locale of the study is in Mindanao State University, Marawi, a public co-educational institution of higher education situated in the heart of the Islamic city of Marawi, Lanao del Sur, Philippines, who has the highest population of BS Accountancy students. This study is adopting a quantitative correlational research design. The research population consisted of third year and fourth year BS Accountancy students at Mindanao State University, Marawi campus, and a researcher developed survey questionnaire was used as the primary tool for data collection. The questionnaire was administered online and on site. Statistical tools used were descriptive statistics, including frequency distribution, mean, standard deviation, and inferential statistics or the Pearson R correlation.
Good day, I am Norol-janah is Goling. I will continue our presentation of the study by discussing to you our findings. We revealed that students actively utilize test banks as tool for self-assessment practices, indicating that they are widely utilized for improving learning outcomes, developing critical skills, identifying learning gaps, boosting confidence, and evaluating learning progress independently. While students often use test banks to aid memory during exams, the reliance on test banks as the main source for memorizing key information from lectures or for memorizing answers varies. Some students find these strategies effective, while others may not rely on them as heavily for memorization purposes. Indicate that test banks are widely and frequently utilized by accountancy students across various aspects of their academic journey, including study regimens, exam preparation, ongoing learning supplementation, review practice, and concept reinforcement. It also shows that the significant role of test banks in student study routines, with students dedicating substantial time and effort to engage with the test bank's materials extensively and frequently for thorough review and learning. The data indicates that students rarely access test banks through university libraries. Instead, they primarily use online platforms or websites and peer sharing, where students obtain test banks from previous users, is a common practice. Completeness of test banks, accountancy students perceive them as reliable tools with comprehensive content that adequately covers course topics and provides sufficient assessment opportunities. In terms of accuracy, they perceive test banks as reliable and accurate tools with few errors or discrepancies, which enhances their confidence in using test bank for studying purposes. In terms of relevance, they perceive test bank as reliable and relevant tool with questions closely aligned with course materials, learning objectives, and instructor emphasis, which enhances their usefulness for studying and exam preparation. Table 9 presented the academic performance of accounting students based on their cumulative grade point average across different categories of CGPA and whether they have experienced failure in accounting subjects or not. From the student's perspective, these failures are linked to three main personal aspects: background knowledge, challenges in learning the subjects, and study habits. The data suggests a trend where lower CGPA brackets are associated with a higher incidence of failure in accounting subjects, with some exceptions, where some students have experienced failure despite a slightly higher CGPA. A positive correlation between test bank usage and academic performance. across all three aspects of usage: frequency, duration, and access method. However, none of these correlations are statistically significant, indicating no strong relationship between test bank and academic performance. While a slight increase in performance is observed with more usage, studies by Basilio et al. 2024 suggest that various factors hinder active engagement with test banks, and the lack of significance here suggests the correlation may not be robust or consistent enough to draw firm conclusion. Shows strong correlation, positive correlations between the perceived reliability of test bank content in terms of completeness, accuracy, and relevance, and academic performance, with low p-values indicating statistical significance. This suggests that students who view test banks as complete, accurate, and relevant are likely to perform better academically. Slight positive effect of the number of test banks on academic performance, but the weak correlation and non-significant p-value suggest no significant relationship. While academic performance may slightly improve with more test banks, this effect is not significant, implying other factors likely have a greater impact on performance. Implications of the result of the study. Use of test banks. Students actively use test banks for self-assessment to enhance their academic performance and learning outcomes. The test bank for memorization says that some students use test banks as primarily tool for memorizing key lecture materials. Frequency of test bank usage. Test banks are frequently used by students as part of their study and exam preparation. For the duration of test bank usage, students dedicate significant time to reviewing and learning from the test bank's materials regularly. For the impacts on academic performance, while frequent test bank usage is linked to slightly better academic performance, the correlation is weak and not statistically significant. Number of test banks and academic performance. There is a slight tendency for academic performance to improve with more test banks, but the relationship is not statistically significant. And for the perceived reliability of test banks, students who perceive test banks as reliable, meaning complete, accurate, and relevant, are more likely to perform better academically. Hypothesis number one is not rejected because no significant relationship between test bank usage and academic performance. Hypothesis two is not also rejected because no significant effect of the number of test banks on academic performance. Hypothesis 3 is rejected. There is a significant relationship between students' perception of the test bank reliability and their academic performance.